Hey YouTube, it's Emma Blue Eyes 10 here, and welcome to Q&A number 7. This is a wee segment I haven't done for a little while, so I'm just going to answer the questions that have been posted on my wee Q&A time video thingamabobber and answer them to the best of my abilities and hope you enjoy. And of course, if you want to ask me any more further questions, just post in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Okay, so hope you enjoy. Okay, first question is from Shadow Dragon. After the September 2012 ban list, Dark Worlds and E-Heroes will definitely be some of the best and most played decks. How will this affect your main deck, and what cards would you play to counter these decks? Well, it's safe to say the ban list doesn't affect my Blue Eyes Dragons deck at all, which of course is my main deck. And it doesn't even affect my Lightsworn deck. It doesn't affect my Lightsworn deck at all. It doesn't affect my Rainbow Era deck at all either. Very rarely does the ban list hurt me. Now, if I was still playing Future Fusion and 5 God Dragon, obviously that would be a bit of a problem, but thankfully I decided not to run with Future Fusion anymore, not just because it could have been banned for the next format, but just because it was my deck, as I said, my deck was starting to play a bit too competitively. I was trying to make it work in a way it wasn't supposed to go, that's why I took it out. But so the ban list doesn't affect my decks at all. Maybe only 1 or 2 cards might be swapped about and everything, but it hardly ever affects my deck. And what cards would I use to counter them? I don't know. I would probably still... I don't really have cards to counter. I just run the staple basic cards that every deck will use, you know, like Torrentials, Mirror Forces, Dark Hole, sorry. Of course I run Forbidden Chalice and Forbidden Lance and that to get around any effects and stuff like that, but my deck isn't based on countering cards or whatever. It's just basically playing fun, but competitively at the same time and everything. So yeah, hope that answers your question, Shadow Dragon. Question 2 is from Toxin12. I hope I pronounced your name right. Have you thought about making other fun decks besides the 3 you already have, and what decks do you think will dominate the format? Okay, as you know, I've got Blue Eyes Dragons, Lightsworns and Rainbow Era. I am actually in the middle of building Heretics as well, or the Hieroglyph Dragons, because I think that's a cool bunch, and yes, that deck will run a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon because it actually needs, because the Hieroglyphs do need a Red Eyes Darkness Metal because of their high levels and all that, but I might not, I don't know. That deck is a possibility with the Red Eyes Darkness, okay, but I can't tell you anything for definite right now. But I am in the middle of collecting cards for the Hieroglyph deck, and I do really want to build them because obviously they're about ancient Egypt and everything, and that's what I got into as an archaeologist. You know, I've been into ancient Egypt and everything, and I thought it was really cool. So that's the other deck I'm currently trying to build at the moment, but it's proving difficult because obviously Hieroglyphs are very popular, and a lot of the Exceed cards especially are in high demand, so it's going to be tricky to get that. I still don't know if I'm going to get a box or something of Galactic Overlord. If I can, it depends. So yeah, that's the only other deck I'm really interested in building at the moment. Whereas some people have asked me, will I build like other variants of my decks, like say for example, will I build a meta version of Blue Eyes Dragons, not in real life but on Duel Network or something? I don't know, depends really. It's an interesting idea to see how it would run if it was built meta way, so it's an idea for a video maybe later, I don't know when. But to finish off the question of what decks will be dominating the next format, well, definitely Dark Worlds and Six Sams, since they didn't get touched by the ban list at all. And Six Sams also got, from the ban list, they got 1 or 2 warrior cards back, so they can start not being dominant but being very, very good in the format. Dark Worlds, of course, have got a potential to be very, very good again. I think Agents are definitely going to probably come back because Earth's gone up to 2. Lightsworns might go as well, but since Necro Garden's gone to 3. We could see potential Destiny Hero decks if somebody finds a really good combo or engine with the Destiny Heroes. But also I still think that some Insector decks, or some variants of the Insector decks, will still be playable as well. I don't know about dominating the format though, because they've been severely slowed down to say the least. Chaos Dragon I think will still be very good as well, obviously, because even though they've been severely hit by the ban list to say the least, I think they'll still function quite well. They just need to find alternate ways to get around that problem. I think, if I was to be really honest, I think the one deck that will still do very well in the format will possibly be Dino Rabbit, mostly, because some variants of the deck ran 3 rabbits, some ran 2, and even with 2, it's still pretty good. And of course Lagia and Dalka never got hit by the ban list as well, so I think for definite Dino Rabbit would be very good, along with the Dark Worlds and Six Samurai. Chaos Dragons and Insectors and Agents, Light Sworns to a lesser extent, but still pretty good. I think those kind of decks are probably going to be the most popular in this next format as well. So yeah, that's what I think, but of course we've not even started the format yet. We'll just have to wait and see what happens 6 months down the line. Okay, question 3 is from the Qzar Phantom. When are you usually on Dueling Network? Where do you think you'd be without your channel? Or channels if you have more? And if you watch the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged by Little Karibo, what's your favourite moment? Okay, I've already posted up videos about Dueling Network and everything. Okay, about when I can be on. I keep saying, I've already said this in my little update video, number 3, Dueling Network and Skype update. If I'm on Dueling Network and you see me, message me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, but I can't promise that I will duel you or whatever. Normally I go on Dueling Network just to watch some friends duel, or to edit my deck, so I've got an actual photograph of my deck and everything in case I need to run over some things or whatever. But at the moment, as I've said, my work is literally taking over everything, and I really appreciate my days off, and I don't go on Dueling Network as much as I used to now. I mean, I still love Dueling Network. I think it's a really cool place to go and duel and test out deck ideas and stuff like that, but I've also been put off quite recently by quite a few incidents, not with me, but some of my Scottish friends have had. They've been posted up on Facebook and that, of really idiotic players, to say the least, on Dueling Network rage quitting over some plays that my friends have made, or getting really abusive and things like that. And it's like, well, Dueling Network will be strictly for friends and that only. Well, not friends, and of course your subscribers and all that, but I just can't believe how much, to quote what everybody's been saying, butthurt there is on Dueling Network when people win or stop combos and things like that. It's like, you know, it's kind of put me off a little bit, and it makes you wonder how people it just makes you wonder about Dueling Network sometimes. I just edit the deck, I only edit my decks on there at the moment, but it's not really a good place to actually it's good for testing out some things, but in other ways it's not. I'd rather do real life duels in all honesty, so yeah. Next question is, where would I be on my channel? I'd probably just be a regular duelist in all honesty if I didn't do my channel. As I said, so it was kind of a freak accident that my channel really started. It was because I got myself a camera that I needed for my archaeology course, and then I started to take it to Mad for Miniatures, and that's how the channel kind of took off really. So yeah, I think it was just a bit of a freak accident, but if I hadn't have done that, I don't think, you know, my channel would just be like tribute videos and AMV videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't have cared. I would have just played for the fun of the game and everything, and probably just stayed that way. I like the Abridged series by Little Karibo. I don't really have a favourite moment. I love all the episodes I have seen so far. They're absolutely brilliant. I think my favourite one has to be where it's Kaiba versus Lecter so far. I really like the episode, and I also like the bit where, I can't remember what episode it is, but it's where Bakura, Yugi and Tristan and Taya are all getting chased by the big boulder, and Bakura goes, "Gangway, women and she-males first," and then he trips and curses and everything. I think that's a really good scene. I always laugh whenever I see that scene, so I think Kaiba versus Lecter duel and that little scene, the little Bakura scene, are my favourite bits from the Abridged series. Next one is from Canon Viewer. When the Zero of Orichalcos comes out, do you think you'll get it and play it as a fun deck? I do want to get the Yugi's World folder when it comes out, when I can. I would like to own a Seal of Ori Kelkos, but I don't think I'll ever play it as a fun deck because I see that as a sort of lockdown cards, and I'm not really one for locking down things in decks and everything. I mean, yes, I run Kokaimeru in my... I'll run a Kokaimeru Drago in my Blue Eyes Dragons deck, which locks down special summons of light and dark monsters, but I don't use it just for that. I actually really like the picture of the card. I think it's a really cool card. But in general, I'm not really keen on locking down things, and besides, it's an evil card. It was used by the enemy. Why would I want to use it, if you see what I mean? Okay, next one is from Corporal Card. What's your favourite episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and why? Ooh, that is a very tough one. I've got loads of favourite episodes from the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime. But if I was to choose my absolute favourite, it would have to be episode 214 of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is the episode where Seto Kaiba, or Priest Seto, and Kasara fight against Priest Akhenaten and the High Priest of Darkness. Kasara dies, the Blue Eyes White Dragon's power is passed on to Seto, and then you have the famous battle scene of Pharaoh Atomu versus Priest Seto, of Blue Eyes White Dragon versus Dark Magician, that has been depicted in the Ancient Stone Tablet. That would have to be my favourite because, in the Japanese version at least, when I first watched it, I actually cried. It was so moving about what happened, because I've read the manga and those scenes are nothing like the manga at all. And as I said, I actually cried the first time I watched it because it was so heartbreaking to see what happened, and Kazuki Takahashi actually said that he would have expanded the Seto and Kasara love storyline if he could have, but he didn't have the time to do so, so that was such a wee unfortunate thing. But it's my favourite scene because you see the birth of the Blue Eyes, you see how someone who actually loves Seto, I'm a real romantic. I like the romantic ideas and that, how someone sacrifices their life to save their loved one. You see how Seto becomes the true guardian of the Blue Eyes, and you see, of course, the classic battle scene of Blue Eyes versus Dark Magician, Seto versus Atomu, and you understand in that scene how the rivalry actually started, what was actually the driving force behind it, and how it led to the events of Duelist Kingdom and Battle City and everything. So yeah, I think that would have to be my absolute favourite episode. Episode 208, of where Kasara first summoned the Blue Eyes White Dragon, is also probably my second favourite. And I also really enjoyed, I can't remember what episode numbers they are, but I really enjoyed the episodes named in the English dub anyway, called Face Off, of Yugi vs Kaiba for the first time in Duelist Kingdom. I really enjoyed those episodes. That was quite an intense duel, I have to admit, when I first watched it, and I wasn't expecting the ending when I first watched it. I'm talking about like 10 years ago this was. Yeah, what else? And I also really liked the Yugi versus Arcana duel of Dark Magician versus Dark Magician. I think that would have to be one of my favourites. And of course the classic battle of Yugi versus Kaiba in Battle City would also have to be a top favourite of mine as well. So I've got quite a few favourite episodes that I love watching over and over again, but I think 214 would be the single episode I would definitely pick out, because a lot of stuff happens and the scenes in there make sense of everybody's characters, of where everything happened, how the rivalry starts, how the storyline kind of caught on and everything. So yeah, I think that would be my absolute favourite. Oh, right, I've talked quite a bit now. I think that's the Q&A over. Thank you very much for sending in your questions, everybody. If you want to keep asking any more, again, just post down in the comments below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope that answers all your questions, and we'll see you guys in the next video, which will definitely be tournament videos, because I am going to the tournament this Sunday on the 26th of August. And I'm really looking forward to this tournament, so fingers crossed for that. Okay, so take care. Bye!